So, yeah, I think we're live again. Yeah, we're live again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We just so happen to have the Obligatory Awards after party. Because, you know, nothing better than an awards show than partying afterwards. I'm ready to party hard. I mean, personally, I'm drinking water.
Wow. Slow down, buddy.
Nice bottled water. Party drink.
Is it cold or is it room temperature?
Cold. Nice cold water.
Nice.
That's how you know it's ready to party with. In fact, you know, I just finished off one nice ice cold water there, and it's like I'm ready to party so hard that's like I can go in for the second. Hey, there we go. I don't know if you heard that nice, satisfying little snap, but that was a cap coming off this bottle of water.
Awesome.
Nice snap.
Then that, my friend, that's bottled water. That's the good stuff.
Cheers to that.
Thank you. So yeah, this is the official after party for the Obligatory Awards. We can kind of talk a bit about the production of the show and how things went, as well as whatever we really feel like talking about. I'm just going to sit on the awards screen again and delete everything but the GIF of Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Good.
Can we just focus on Neil deGrasse Tyson for this whole thing?
I mean, we could.
Yes, this is what I want.
Fox HD. Oh no, are we going to be copyrighted by Fox?
Good question. Let's make him smaller again.
Make it where you can't see Fox.
Yeah. Listen, if you cover up the watermark, that means they don't have any copyright. That's how copyright law works.
Oh man.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. It's got it right there.
No copyright intended.
No copyright intended. Can't get us now, Neil.
Isn't it copyright? Do you have to put infringement there, or?
No. We're not intending any copyright here, so we're not stealing it.
Okay.
That's how that works. Is anti-aliasing off on that text too? I better be. It's not. Ugh. Let's make this so much worse.
Let's
use Papyrus. Yeah, Papyrus. No anti-aliasing. No copyright intended. Perfect.
Sick.
And so for anyone that feels like getting pulled on up to our little treehouse, if you're out there listening, you can hop into one of our handy dandy little voice calls, any of them, and I'll pull you up here. And if you join a voice call for an unrelated reason and I pull you up here, then congratulations, you're on candid camera.
Nice.
Okay, we've got our Neil there.
Wait, hold on. Can we have no New Year's intended?
No New Year's intended. Yeah, that would stop Neil from getting mad at us. Or no, all of them. No holidays intended.
Yes, because they're all cosmically insignificant.
Right. It's the only way. So I don't know if Twitch is about to let me export that broadcast or not, but it's letting me download it, so like all power to me, I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah. Let's see, will the export button work now? Let's find out. The answer is no. Because I am in hell. And hell is owned by Amazon.com. Now, with free 2-day shipping. So.
Something we could talk about. We could talk about like future.
Oh yeah, future streams and stuff for Limit Breaker. Yeah, I'm definitely down to talk about that. Definitely down to talk about the production of everything and some of the deleted scenes and how that all went.
Yeah.
I definitely want to show off at one point or another if I can. Let's see, if I were to go back to the game cast thing, yeah. I wonder if can I add a media source and not have it autoplay, because I want to get it edited. Make source visible, no. Okay, that's what I want to do then. Close file and inactive. Because I've got some deleted scenes that I can put up here. I've definitely shown these to some of you. Like the ad breaks that we had. Now, let's see. I could just make sure that's paused. If I pause that, when I make it visible, does it autoplay? It does, unfortunately, but I'm not going to let that happen. Control E. We're kind of editing in production. Okay, position is 290 by 90. That's how my streams get set up. But so, I can play this now and show you one of the deleted scenes from the show. This bit was a transition between two different parts of it, because all the transitions throughout the awards originally were supposed to be done by a grocery guy on a PA system. So here goes. And now, a quick word from our sponsors. Come on down to the Gamer Gulag. It's more than a summer camp. Coming up next, the award for the best video game soundtrack of 2020. Presented
I
by
had to do so many takes on this line.
Sound, Life at Dogma Balls High. I had to do so many takes on that line because I couldn't stop laughing when saying the name Dogma Balls High.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, I guess. The origins of that term are just Dean and I being dumb, if I'm being honest with you. He was playing Dragon's Dogma, and somehow, some way throughout that, we came up with the phrase Dogma Balls, because we're absolute Neanderthals, absolute morons, who just cannot stop talking. Thank you. Thank you, Nicholas.
You're welcome.
I'm trying to think of anything else that would have been up there. There was another one of those. And this one was meant to display directly after the bit with Luke. 1 second. Okay, it can load it in. Cool. I also definitely want to keep that paused and Control E. All right. Oh, let's see. Oh, my internet's looking a little... Oh, yeah, it's because I'm downloading the copy of that last stream at the same time as this. But hopefully it won't be too screwy. Let's find out. I don't even know what happened there. Could Alex Knowles please come to the customer service desk? I repeat, could Alex Knowles please come to the customer service desk? I don't even have a sponsor.
Is that supposed to be after the Luke Pie bit?
Yes. This was meant to go right after the screen where Luke was
for the best
killed.
family game of the year, presented by YouTuber Dean
And this,
Plays
and that
Minecraft.
goes into the cut best family game bit.
Oh no, Dean plays Minecraft.
Yeah, Dean plays Minecraft. An unfortunate YouTuber death. No one could have ever seen it coming. It's just very tragic. No one was prepared. Not a single person in the whole wide world was ready for it. But I'm trying to think of... Let's see. I definitely think I've definitely got the gamer rage bit on here too. I don't know if you want me to broadcast that or not, though.
I mean, it's not like I really say anything bad.
It's true.
I just was attempting to sound extreme. I mean, no, Dr. Gamer was it attempting to be extreme.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. We don't know Dr. Gamer. Not a single one of us.
Yeah, Dr. Gamer is definitely not known here.
Yeah, let me see. I don't know where.
Isn't Neil
Why would
deGrasse
I
Tyson
care?
though? Isn't Neil deGrasse Tyson Dr. Gamer?
Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson is Dr. Gamer. He's so mad about the seasons. Oh, let's see. Okay, let me get this set up. Actually, no. I'll have it take. I'll have it take over the full screen this time. Why not? Since this was when we were doing this all pre-recorded originally, and this was supposed to act like it was a Twitch stream instead of an edited video of a Twitch stream. So.
Yeah.
I probably should have hung on that blue screen a little longer.
Yeah. Okay, here we are playing.
This was also how we intended to cover for the fact that you, if I were to kind of, just kind of pause that there. Like, just cover for the fact that this was where our break in recording was, because we were recording at night before, and then the day after that. And that was just kind of my way of being like, okay, I don't want this to be too obvious. It's going to be obvious no matter what I do, but anything I can do, just to distract from that fact, you know?
Yeah.
Literally anything I can pull out to distract from that fact. Oh my. I think that's all the cut things that I have like rendered and ready to go. There's probably a couple things in my Vegas files that I could pull out sometime, but that's not something that's like stream ready or anything. I'm not about to just go broadcasting Vegas in preview mode or anything. Because Sony Vegas hates me. And I know it's no longer called Sony Vegas, but it doesn't respect me, so I don't respect it. Let me check. Is there anybody out there? No, nobody in the voice calls below the treehouse. Because we're the finest, the cream of the crop. Supported by Neil deGrasse Tyson.
So, we were talking about like possible streams. Has anyone else had any ideas of possible streams we could do, or?
And I know that Nick and Dominic are not typical regulars, but you know, you are always welcome in my house. Mikasa, Sukasa.
For the treehouse?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, sounds good.
But yeah, like, anytime you guys want to do literally anything or want to stop by, hang out, you know, like...
Well, yeah, I'll come by Ohio.
yeah, that I'll build a treehouse in my backyard right now.
And then we could stream.
Yeah, I'll set up your gaming PC in the treehouse, and then watch it catch fire, because I use the worst kind of wood.
Firewood?
Yes, yeah. I'll just build a treehouse out of kindling.
Yeah.
Held together with glue.
It's actually
Still gonna
coming up
cost
to
you
the...
like a fortune right now.
It's okay. I'll pay in Bitcoin. I'll start selling Limit Breaker streams as NFTs or whatever they're called.
Nice.
Dang, man.
I don't even know what an NFT stands for. I get the idea that it's kind of like cryptocurrency, but not, and it's supposed to represent a file. It's kind of a more than kind of a dumb thing. I think it's maybe the dumbest Bitcoin trend I've ever heard. The only value to it is that there's money to be made because people are idiots, but I don't get it, man. I don't know if any of you follow crypto at all.
I just follow the money.
I mean, don't we all?
Yeah, I don't follow it much myself. I still haven't learned anything about it really, but I do plan to. It's definitely becoming prevalent enough, yeah. So it's kind of like, okay, probably should take the time.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I should, but also, like, have I told you guys the story of how in, what was it? Was it 2015? 2013. No, that's
Didn't you
too
own
early.
some Bitcoin?
I did. I think it was maybe
What happened to it?
2015 or 2014, one of the two. I had owned what at the time, when Bitcoin was $300, I owned like $10 in Bitcoin,
Yeah.
and the market was still going up, going lower and lower and lower. And I was like 16 at the time, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, this Bitcoin thing isn't going anywhere, man. I was like, this has been just kind of floundering and going down for the past couple of months. This is it. This is never going to go any higher ever again. This has to be it for Bitcoin. It's been around this long. It's made a decent enough break for the people who bought into it the first time, but that's not going to happen again. Now, keep in mind, again, I had $10 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin was worth $300 at the time. You can do the math when you look at its high of $50,000 a couple days ago as I go for the alcohol.
Cheers.
Feels bad.
Of course, I mean, it was just 2 years after that, if it was in 2015, because the first big high was when it rallied up to $17,000 in 2017. I think that's right. Maybe 18K, something to that effect. Regardless, I'm not here enough to do all the math in my head for this, but it's certainly a number that I would have made in the end. I mean, at the very least, like, okay, if it was worth 300, I had $10. When it hit 3,000, I would have had 100. So 300. Okay, maybe around 600 during that initial high. And it probably would have been close to $1,000 by now, if not more than that. Would have been close to $1,000.
You'd have $1,666.67.
Well,
Assuming
shit.
that's exactly $300. It probably wasn't exactly $300, but
Probably not now, but
you're just taking $10. So you take 10 divided by 300 because that's the value.
Mhm.
So it's 0.0333
Mhm.
repeated. And then you multiply that by whatever value you want afterwards. So you have 0.03333, etc. percent.
Mhm.
And then you just multiply that by the value of which you care for. So 50,000. So that's $1,666.67.
Now this is where I ask, fellas, how would you feel if you sold Apple stock the day before the iPod got announced? I think that would be ultimate nightmare scenario.
I mean, it could be worse. You could have invested in one of the companies that went under with Corona.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I did the smart thing. I didn't have any investments, and then I waited for things to drop, and then I bought it after it dropped, and that was good. That was good.
Oh yeah, for sure. The stock market and Bitcoin and any kind of related thing where it's just, I guess markets is the general term to use that works, I guess. It's a risk and reward thing.
Yeah.
I know you did some like light financial advising for a while, didn't you, Nick?
Well, like I'm an economics major. Well, I'm done university, so I have the major. And yeah, so I studied that stuff. And essentially, what I have to say is, when it comes to putting your money into things, there's really two ways to go about it. One, you can just stick all your money in a bunch of index funds, and that's probably the safest, but also a very rewarding thing to do because you just know that the market's going to trend upwards. So that's a sure way to make money. And no matter what, whenever you do it, you're going to make money unless you invested in 2006 and then 2007 hits, and then you'd be suffering for quite a few years, maybe 5 years, but then after that you would have made money. So it's literally, all you have to do is go to Google and then search up S&P 500, and you just have to hit max. And then if you see the graph, you can see if you start at any point, basically, if you go at least a year, then you're going to have made money.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, yeah. I mean,
So-
that's not strictly true, but if you look at the trend, it's basically true.
So, what are your thoughts on buying bonds?
Don't. Bonds are useless. They're when you have like billions. That's like the Ireland thing we were talking about. That's when you're Apple, then you should go buy bonds. Otherwise, don't buy bonds, because you're gonna make less money than inflation, which means you're actually losing out on money. It's slightly better than having your money sit in a checkings account, but it's worse than investing in an index fund.
Okay. But so index funds are the safest way to go about it.
They're not as safe as bonds. They're not a surefire thing. Bonds are surefire, but it the safety that you lose is more than made up in the return, and the safety that you do lose is negligible.
Well, thanks, Nick. I'm gonna go put my life savings into index funds.
You should do that. I actually recommend you do that.
Oh shit. Okay.
I would do that.
Well, if you say so, my friend.
Well, I do that. So, yeah. And then also stocks they're more risky, and that's why I would never put the majority of my money in that. That fact might change, but I doubt it. But stocks do get a better return, but there's also considerably more risk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's financial advice from me.
Yeah.
We're breaking all limits, including financial.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. That's it, fellas. We're buying GameStop stock right now. It's not too late, is it?
No.
It's too late.
It is definitely too late. And anybody tells you that it's not is probably lying to you. Either that or they're just oblivious.
No,
Or they need people to buy it so that they can sell.
You got a point. By all means, you've got a point.
Yeah.
Oh man. We have any thoughts on music?
Music's good.
Music's good.
Yeah. I'm
I'm
inclined to
glad
agree.
we all have the same opinion.
Yeah. Do we know any
But yeah.
notable music haters out there? Is there anybody out there that just hates music?
I'm pretty sure Dr. Gamer does.
Oh yeah, that guy. That
I
guy.
don't think music is cosmically significant enough for Neil deGrasse Tyson to enjoy, so
Let's see, Neil deGrasse Tyson music. Can I find anything for him on that? Oh, it's coming up with a list of songs here on Google.
he made a
What?
song. He made a song against B.O.B. for the Flat Earth thing. I'm serious.
Let me show you what I'm seeing on Google here. I'll put it up on the screen in a second. Save that screen cap. Here's a tech tip, by the way. Windows key, Shift S, snip and sketch. You're welcome. And then you can immediately crop and save that and edit it by clicking the notification it brings up. And if it doesn't bring up a notification, you can just go to the Action Center with Windows key A.
Woo.
Yeah. Learning real tips tonight. Yeah, but so here's what I see when I search up Neil deGrasse Tyson songs. He's got some. That's up on the screen now.
I think Oh, you
Wait.
know what these probably are?
Hmm.
These are probably audiobooks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Also, I looked at Wikipedia, his discography. First title, Exist, from the year 2016. Artists, Avenged Sevenfold.
Ah,
Interesting.
I don't know if it's did they just sample him, or
let's look at the album, the stage. Yeah, he does spoken word on track 11.
I'm not playing Avenged Sevenfold on stream, but
You mean you're not playing Neil deGrasse Tyson?
this album isn't cosmically significant enough to matter.
Yes, exactly. Humans are not cosmically significant enough to matter.
He literally likely believes that. Let's be honest. Neil deGrasse Tyson is that panel from Watchmen where Dr. Manhattan is talking about a dead guy, and he's like, oh, well, why should I care if he's alive or dead? There's the same amount of particles in living bodies and dead bodies. Speaking of Watchmen,
What are you?
it's real good.
What a useless way to look at the world.
What a rotten way to die.
Shame. He was a good man.
What a shame.
I love how he says that. If you kill him.
What a shame.
Like, is there a reason to kill that guy? Or I never actually played the game, so I can't really say.
I didn't get far enough into Deus Ex to tell you.
You'd kill him so that you get to say that.
Basically, I think.
Well, like, is there a reason why you'd kill the guy? Is my main.
I'm pretty sure you can kill just about every character in Deus Ex.
Yeah, I think you can. I think you can smoke cigarettes, and you can kill a child by secondhand smoke.
Yes, you can.
Oh, yeah.
Deus Ex is an immersive sim, an absolute classic immersive sim, and man, it is something else. Let's put it that way. There will probably never be another game quite like Deus Ex in that regard. Though Prey, the reboot of Prey, I guess you could kind of call it that. Yeah, it came out in like
reboot.
2017.
Wait, both.
It's like 2017, I think it was when it came out. But I think that's the most recent big name immersive sim that I can think of. Very cool game. I desperately miss immersive sims being super prevalent, but I also kind of get at the same time it's like when you put so much money into graphics, making everything interactable becomes much harder to do.
That's true.
Which is, what a shame.
What a rotten way to make games.
I think that's the perfect segue into Cyberpunk 2077, huh?
Oh, you got me.
Oh no.
Isn't that just the most tech alpha of a AAA title that anyone else has played in a while? Oh man.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
so beautiful, but the AI, it's incredible. They're just like dumber than bricks, and there's like my favorite thing is when they put a really distinct conversation in play, and you run past the same guys, and you just keep hearing them talk about the same thing, like as if it hasn't happened yet. It's like, dude, you've been talking about that for weeks, man. Weeks.
I think my favorite thing about Cyberpunk is that on PlayStation, at the very least, the game effectively got delayed after release. It's still not available for purchase on the PlayStation Store because Sony will not let them sell it until they fix the PS4 version. And they really can't. So
Right. I believe the same thing. There's like no way they're gonna be able to crunch that back enough to run on those systems. I mean, oh my gosh.
I mean, I think that they would basically have to make the game all over again, which leads you to ask the question, would that make enough money to justify it? And sincerely, I do hope, since Sony cracks down harder on things like that. Cyberpunk is a big name case, yes, but I think that's something that should be expanded, like that that old school Nintendo seal of quality. That didn't really mean much of anything, but you know what I mean. Like, if I am buying this game on release day, it should at the very least be in a playable state on my console. Like, I'm sorry, champ, but maybe finish your games.
Yeah.
Yeah, delay it again. I mean, I hate to say it, but just okay.
Yeah, that's the thing too, where
Gen or last gen just needs more time.
like if like they should have they more than should have. They did actually. They withheld review codes for the other versions of Cyberpunk, and in reviews, they told all reviewers that your pre-release Cyberpunk 2077 review can only use pre-approved footage from the publisher that they provided from the trailers.
Wow.
And when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is where it begins, huh?
Yeah, we know where that's going.
It's like Chernobyl.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the monitors right now. Oh boy, that number's rising pretty quick. Is it Rads or is it Cyberpunk bug requests? Who knows? Oh man. What a rotten way to die.
3.6 rotten, not great, not terrible.
But I do hope that someday Cyberpunk gets fixed up enough, because like I've seen, what Jordan and Matt and Dean have played through it, and what I've seen from them and their gameplay, and what I've heard from them, is that if you can get past the bugs, it's real good. I say as if Jordan is not sitting right here, but Matt and Dean aren't, so that's my excuse. But
It has a lot of cool stuff in it, and it has a pretty good, solid story. It's just sometimes whenever you're trying to do something and someone's junk's just kind of sitting there, it kind of throws you out of the immersion when you're just like,
throws off your immersion when you see some meat on the street, huh?
Yeah. See, that's actually a problem I didn't have an issue with, because if you're like me, you just don't choose either one of the options that shows that, so you don't have to worry about it.
Well, you know what? I think regardless, I had a bug you're gonna face anyway, and it was flashing butt cheeks. I'm on my motorcycle, and I cross a section where it hits a new zone or something. It loads up. I go full T-pose. My pants disappear, and I'm flashing the world, cheeks out.
There's a sentence. I'm on my motorcycle. I T-pose. My pants disappear.
That's
Sounds
pretty-
like
that's
a
my
hearing
heart.
for a public nudity incident. You're trying to give your case.
Okay. So this
That is exactly
this is
what's
my
happening.
segue into saying, you guys hear about the streaker at the Super Bowl, right?
Is this current or is this
this Super Bowl? What he did
no.
was that he placed a bet with a guy that there would be a streaker at the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And it was like a $50K bet, I think, that he put that money down.
Wow.
And so then he decided to streak at the Super Bowl, and that was more than enough money to make bail.
Fair.
That's a game to play, I guess.
A very dangerous game to play.
Yeah, seriously, I
Much-
will pass.
Yeah, much like Cyberpunk
But,
2077.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like Scorp said in the chat, he's waiting for the game to get patched up before he continues playing as well. I can't blame you for that. I'm just waiting for some kind of complete edition. Actually, they delayed the DLC and stuff, didn't they? It's like delayed indefinitely. We might not get a complete edition for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a while. I really do. I think it'll get there too, though. I feel hopeful, but yeah, I think it's gonna be a while.
And this is the question: if CD Projekt can recover the goodwill that they've lost from this. I know there's still a lot of people out there who definitely are like, "Oh, CDPR can do no harm." To which I say, you are insane. CDPR can make some very good games, but come
They
on,
can
man.
also make too many promises.
That too. I feel like no, I can't call this generation's Fable because Fable released in a complete state. Fable was not super buggy on launch or anything. Fable was missing a lot of the things that Peter Molyneux promised, and this goes for all 3 of the games, but all 3 of them still released complete. Not necessarily bug-free, there is no bug-free game, but without any...
Pong.
I don't know, man. There's gonna be that one person.
Oh, these
That,
bugged
like-
mine mechanics.
Yeah, that one person that has all the mine check marks and the game's going just not work. Just doesn't let them win.
Okay, so Scorp says they put out an update that they were even delaying the patches due to the hackers. Oh yeah, because CDPR did have that situation where had a little... Was it ransom? Yeah, I think it was ransomware, yeah.
That was... Yep.
The whole situation's still so fishy to me that, someone just mysteriously buys all that data before the end of the auction, which leads me to believe that they paid up. But who knows if the guys actually gave them the data back after they paid up or what. That's interesting. It's really interesting. What a way to die.
Yeah.
Seriously. It was pretty wild. They apparently lost 2 weeks worth of productivity. They couldn't access the VPN. So that's interesting. I think oh gosh, I'm a software engineer by day, and if I didn't have access to my VPN, I'd be limited to very little of what I could do, and they were probably just cringing so hard to have run into that in the midst of everything else that was happening.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe the term I could use would be unending, unyielding train wreck.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's about right.
It's wild, man. Like, I just hope that I can one day play that game start to finish and have a good time.
Yeah.
Because I really do want it to be, and it will never be what they announced it as, because what I thought was an hour of gameplay was pre-rendered footage, which is still disappointing to this day.
Right.
It's like I hate that. That's one of the things in the industry that I hate the most.
Fakeness.
Yeah. And it's like there's different kinds of faking it. But the one where it's like, oh, this looks like gameplay, but it's actually pre-rendered is the worst. They did that for Anthem too. And I saw that debut with Anthem, and it looked like actual gameplay. This is not a case of like, some of you might remember that there was a very old Call of Duty trailer that was very clearly pre-rendered. Same goes for the first Killzone game for the PS3. They put out a trailer for it that was like completely pre-rendered. That one was a bit harder to tell. The Call of Duty one, it was very obvious, like, this is not real gameplay because it was animated too well. It had like the first-person camera motions were like an actual person's view as opposed to like an actual video game camera movement. So it was like, okay, this is pretty clearly not real gameplay.
Yeah.
But then you get into like Anthem. Yeah, I heard about Anthem dying, and I'll touch on that in a little bit. But Anthem did it. Cyberpunk did it. I can't remember the others in recent years. The old style ones that I can think of that were completely pre-rendered. Again, like, was it Killzone 3? I think it was Killzone 3. Very, very old school version of it. And it's been around for a long time. Like, that first demo of Halo 2 that still ran on the Halo CE engine. That one wasn't pre-rendered, but if you took quite literally 2 wrong steps in that demo, or had the camera load a certain portion of the map that was outside of their quote-unquote golden path, which is a term from Steve Jobs, actually, as far as I can remember, then the game would crash.
Huh.
The original iPhone demo, and yes, I'm going back to Steve Jobs. I forget if Steve himself coined this term or if it was an Apple engineer at the time. But the original iPhone demo, if you went outside the golden path, which was the path that Steve took when showing off the iPhone, the entire system would crash. And the golden path is the path you have to take to have it work, look nice, and not crash.
Right.
That's really cool. That is so it so hits home for me. In software engineering, we have those terms, and we like to call them happy paths. To describe multiple. If you go outside the happy path, then yeah, you're probably gonna face some bugs. Those demos are probably happy path demos, so
100%.
that's pretty cool. And I don't know for sure, but I would say that Crysis had a pre-rendered demo, because there was some movement in that just triggered me. It was like, no way this is real. The way you're like swooping around, ducking and diving and sliding. It's like you can kind of sort of do that in the game, but how perfect and the view of the camera, it really does.
I believe
feel
it.
Like, yeah, like you're from the person almost.
I mean,
like you were
the
saying before.
opening cutscene to Crysis is that pre-rendered one that's made to kind of look like gameplay, but it isn't.
Oh yeah, that might be exactly what I'm thinking of then, from the first game, that first title.
Yeah. I will say though, I do really like Crysis. I'm kind of coming around on Crysis 1. I've been playing Crysis 1 on my Switch lately, which is not an optimal way to play Crysis, I will tell you this right now. But I also really enjoy using gyro aiming with the Pro Controller for fine-tuning things. And I'm to the point where I think I just prefer gyro aiming to even mouse and keyboard when it comes to fine-tuning it. Like, it's not what you want to use for always looking around, but if you're like, aim down sights, like, that is what you want to just fine-tune the shot. It's great. But that's still definitely not the best way to play Crysis. But I had never liked the first game very much. I was always a Crysis 2 guy, where Crysis 2, I think, is the best Predator game available.
Oh, hey, yeah, I can get behind that too. Oh my gosh, was it 2 or was it 3 that had? It must have been 2 then, that had those wicked like multiplayer modes with.
Yes,
cool
2 and 3
stealth
both had them.
mechanics. Okay, yeah, and wicked. I played. Oh my gosh, it must have been 2 online. It had the coolest multiplayer and the hunter modes and.
Oh yeah, Crysis had some real cool stuff.
I played through Crysis 2, and it threw me off because I've seen just like bits and pieces of Crysis 1, and from what I could tell, you were like a guy in like a super suit versus like normal like soldiers and stuff. And then whenever I started playing Crysis 2 and it had like the alien stuff, that kind of threw me off because I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, I can't remember by the end of.
Hey
the
guys, 1 second. You might remember that I was having issues with publishing videos from Twitch to YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring this up on the stream. I went window capture. 1 second. Window. Brave. Let's display that. Yeah, you guys can kind of get an idea of what's happening right now.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh! So.
Oh no! No! Can't you stop it? Oh no!
Is that 2 of them that successfully went through? That's 3 of them that successfully went through. Oh no! I got cyberpunked.
Oh man.
I'm was like, oh, I could go publish a video for Luke now, can't I? How many are?
How many is that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 28!
28 of them. Bro.
28!
Dude.
These are the most obligatory awards I have ever seen.
28 obligatory awards.
This is Neil Tyson's revenge!
He heard you were talking crap, man.
Neil, I'm sorry, I'll never celebrate New Year's again.
Now this is what I call a cosmically significant event.
Okay, let me just delete every single one of them that's not already, ready. Let's see. It's 25 selected. Edit. Can I not delete? More actions, more actions. Delete forever. Yes. Delete forever, please. Get rid of them.
Alright, my dudes. This has been fun. I'm gonna head off. It was great it was great to do this 28 times with
Yeah, man.
That's actually 28 alternate universes.
right.
You're in some of those
all the
videos, but not all of them.
Alright, take
So-
care, my fellas.
Have a good one, Nick. Good to chat with you.
It was great being with you. See ya.
Oh man. So I do wanna, while I wait for my 25 videos to delete, we can talk about other technical failures like Anthem.
I want to know what's going on with that because that kind of took me by surprise. So I didn't play too much. I played only like the demo of Anthem. I decided, okay, well, I'm not really too into it. And then I thought that it was getting a lot of praise for being really like well liked. Like, okay, the movement, the mechanics, people were really into it, right?
Yeah.
What happened?
Okay, so what happened was Anthem started off and had like this core player base that was really into it for a while. But then the issue with Anthem seems to be much less about how the game itself was and than how the end game was. The end game was apparently like almost non-existent, which is what I saw all the complaints about and this big wave of hate about, combined with the server stability. And the server stability is a much more valid complaint than the end game content. However, this was a problem that kind of solved itself, where if you don't have an end game, your server stability issues within a month will become non-existent because you'll have only 5 people playing your game.
Isn't that the truth?
Which is basically what happened with Anthem. They kept trying to fix that loot issue, but this didn't work out. This didn't work out. And so it hit a point where they decided that with the way the game was structured, with the way the game played, they thought that any amount of changes they had to make would be significant enough to effectively relaunch the game. And so Anthem 2.0, they showed off like 1 or 2 screenshots of it, and I really hope that we can one day see what it fully looked like, because it looked much more like Destiny. That's the biggest thing I can tell you. That it was kind of shameless. They just kind of ripped out anything that was interesting in their own, and they showed off the new inventory screen, and it was like 1-to-1 with Destiny. But I want to know how the actual gameplay changed. Like, that's something I'm very curious in. But so EA held an internal event a week, 2 weeks, something to that effect ago, where they said, okay, fellas, we're going to sit down, we're going to ask you, what are we going to do? Are we going to cancel this? Are we going to move forward with this? What are we going to do? It's the point where it's like, we just got to decide. And they decided to cancel it. So Anthem is just going to be permanently stuck in the state it's in now, which I think is sad. I think it's really sad.
Yeah.
Twitch sent me an email telling me that my export to YouTube succeeded. No shit.
Which one?
Yeah. You're gonna be getting you're getting emails for days, buddy.
Good question. Oh man. I don't know. I'll look over these 3 copies later and determine which of them I keep. If they're probably all identical. I hope they're all identical, so I can just delete that without worrying.
Turns
Um,
out each one's just a minute each.
Oh no.
That'd be horrible.
Oh yeah, they hired a team to overhaul it, and then they scrapped the overhaul and reassigned a team according to Scorp. Yeah. It's just like that's a waste of resources, waste of talent, waste of time, waste of cool mechanics. Because Anthem, at its core, I think if they went at it with a different focus, I think if they went at it more as this might sound a little odd that I'm saying I wish this game stole more from another series, but I really wish that Anthem stole more from Monster Hunter, of all things. Because the Monster Hunter structure is pretty popular in Japan. There's a lot of games like God Eater, what was it, Prison Wars? What's the name? It was a Vita game. It was really cool. I liked it a lot. And it's a shame that it's stuck on that console. Every single day I wake up and I'm like, yeah, I could be playing Prison Wars on my PC in a better universe.
Vita, I can't believe that. Wow, that just took me back.
Oh yeah. And there was also there was a lot of them. I'm trying to remember. I know that you and Alex actually were playing one because it was like your featured screenshot on your Steam profile for a while, Dom.
Oh yes, was that Tokaiden?
Yes, Tokaiden, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah, as far as I can remember, I'm pretty sure that game was a Monster Hunter styled game as well.
It absolutely was, yes.
Yeah. So, like, I feel like if they could have taken that structure a bit more, if they went harder into, like, because they already are like, okay, we've got enemies with health bars visible above them. Every time you shoot them, it deals a portion of damage. It's like, okay, if you went down the Monster Hunter route of your main enemies you're going to take down are these like massive creatures, because you're flying, right? You've got mobility. You've got these insane amount of mobility here to justify having enemies that are the size of skyscrapers. Give me Monster Hunter with city-sized enemies. That's an insane request, but also, yeah. I don't know. I can't think of many other great things to do with that kind of things. It fits into your want for a game as a service. It's like the difference really between the Monster Hunter format and the traditional looter shooter or schluter, as we shall now call them, because I love making up garbage words.
I love that too.
Is that the Schluter is a RNG based type of game that is meant to go on for a very long time. Usually the gear that you get affects your stats only, and you buy your cosmetics. In the case of Monster Hunter, you are going on a hunt because you've determined that you want this part, or to progress the story, you know, but playing things on repeat because you want a certain part to get a certain piece of armor that has certain benefits.
Or looks a certain way.
That too, yeah. But what I'm saying is this is more intentional than a completely random drop from whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that makes a lot of difference. A game that's just like, yeah, like Scorp says, yeah, a la Borderlands, yeah. And I'll give Borderlands this, even if I'm really not that keen on the series. I do think they do the Schluter thing better than most, because they do have more going for them than just, oh, this is a looter shooter. Especially with Borderlands 3, the first-person shooter that Gearbox has made where the shooting is actually enjoyable. I know that's a hot take, I'm sorry, but it's definitely got an aesthetic to it. It's got a world and a story that's very interesting. It's got humor that is, at some points throughout history, occasionally funny. I'm going to avoid talking about my thoughts on Gearbox software. Dominic knows them very well.
Yeah, I was just about to say, can we talk about Destiny 2 again? No. That I would say, you know what? Yeah, Borderlands is interesting. Yeah, it's the flavor it leaves in my mouth has definitely, it's been interesting. I actually prefer, my favorite entry in the Borderlands series is not a core Borderlands game, and it's not even one that I've finished, to be honest with you, but it was the one by
Telltale.
Telltale.
Yes,
Yeah,
because
they
that's also my favorite Borderlands game.
Oh, yeah, right.
It's like it's got such an interesting world when not touched by writers from Gearbox.
Yeah, I was like, wow,
Which characters from that show up in 3, I believe.
Oh wow!
oh, no kidding. Okay.
Yeah, like who's the main character again?
I'm trying to remember his name.
Reese, yeah. Rise. Doesn't he
Right,
become
something like
like?
that.
Doesn't he become like the owner of like Atlas or something?
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah, legitimately, you have missions where you work with him, and then he has a mustache, and you can tell him whether or not to keep the mustache.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, I'm having flashbacks. Yes. That's hilarious. Three was actually pretty good. I enjoyed 3, and that one, it was great compared to playing through the first 2, which never gripped me enough. The third one was actually, I enjoyed the third one. I have the worst memory, and I kind of was thinking, did I even play it? I did. That was solid. I thought the humor wasn't too much. I felt like they had toned it down.
Yeah.
Compared to what was in the previous titles.
Well, it's actually a different writer now that I think about it. 'Cause,
Is it?
yeah, Anthony Birch wrote Borderlands 1, 2, and pre-sequel. I don't know who wrote Borderlands 3. I just know that it's not him.
Okay.
Which explains a lot. There's a line, a couple lines in pre-sequel that is just Anthony Birch having a very visible mental breakdown over all the people who said Borderlands 2 wasn't funny. Where Claptrap, there's a bit where Claptrap just like breaks down and just starts screaming, "Oh yeah, it's meme lands, huh?" And it's like, I get it, Anthony. You're angry, Anthony. You can not be angry anymore. It's okay.
Yeah, take a breath.
Yeah,
See,
for
really,
real.
there's a few things that like is a result of Claptrap doing something that's funny, but Claptrap himself can be pretty annoying.
I think also the difference in gameplay between Borderlands 1, 2, and 3 is that 1 and 2...
Lighting and mantling.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Borderlands 1 and 2 are kind of first-person shooter Diablo.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't have too terribly much movement, with the exception of a few.
You've got a couple cooldown abilities, but that's really all you've got interesting going on your own. Borderlands 3, which one day after upgrading my PC, I'll finish it or something. I had a bunch of hitching issues when playing online with Jordan and them, which just kind of ruined it for me.
Oh yeah.
And it's like hitching is like the one thing that can really kill a game for me, and it didn't matter what setting I put it on, so which makes me think that it's a specific issue with a piece of hardware I've got.
Yeah,
And I am still
DRAM?
disappointed. It could be. It could be.
What did you have?
Matt keeps on getting caught by the police in Yakuza 3.
This stupid run thing where if they catch you at all, they drain the fuck out of your stamina bar. If it hits 0, you're dead, and there's pots everywhere.
So this reminds me of a tweet I saw yesterday where I saw somebody say that they regretted being into Yakuza because they just played Yakuza 3. And it seems to be a common theme for that game, that it's the one entry people don't seem to like. But yeah,
Or
anyway.
Andy, apparently that's the one entry people don't seem to like.
Well, I've done said that before. 3 just one has the worst entry to Yakuza.
Yakuza's really, really, really cool, and I should finish Yakuza 0 sometime. But anyways, yeah, I've only got 8 gigs in here right now, so that could be the issue. But I looked at my usage, and it wasn't like spiking or anything, which was...
That seems like enough. That seems like plenty.
Right. I'm thankfully not sitting over here using 4 gigs of RAM in a PC in this day and age.
Yeah. Then I would have been worried, but yeah, 8 seems fine.
Yeah, and it's like...
It's weird.
The base
What it
gameplay
is.
for Borderlands 3, I felt, without the hitching, it just kind of felt to me like they finally accepted that this series is first-person shooters.
Yes. That is,
They started adding modern FPS mechanics. The gunplay felt good, which I couldn't say about 2 or 1. There was a lot that I did genuinely enjoy about those games. But
There's always a point in like leveling in like 1 and 2 where like it's just a slog to fight any enemy, just because a lot of the gear and stuff you find isn't really worth using, and you like numbers wise unless you get like a certain tier. And no, I'm not talking about like when you're at max level. Like specifically, I think it's like around like level 50-ish.
There's not even a point.
There's a point where you just lose
No point in matching X. You use the same amount either way.
like all stuff just doesn't seem to do enough damage for the enemies you're dealing with. So everyone just feels like bullet sponges. Speaking of bullet sponges, in the Krieg DLC in Borderlands 3, there's an enemy that's legitimately a bullet sponge, and it's a reference to SpongeBob. He comes out of a pineapple.
good.
Oh my god.
Oh man, but yeah. What else we were talking about? Schluter's Borderlands.
Destiny 2 was solid. I really like that. That's
Yeah.
actually that's a really
Yeah.
good Schluter.
Yeah, I enjoyed Destiny 2 with Beyond Light. I remember back when I played the Destiny 2 beta, and I was like, dude, you should play Destiny 2. This is so much better than the first game. This is a lot of fun. And you played it and you were like, this ain't for me. And then a couple months later, I think you messaged me at the time. You were like, dude, Destiny 2 is great. And I'm like, I've been saying this.
Yes. Oh my god.
Did you ever finish Destiny 2, Andy?
I did not, actually. I didn't have enough people to play it with at the time.
Okay. See, I actually finished it up to before it moved to Steam.
Oh yeah, fully agreed with Scorp in the chat. The gunplay in Destiny 2 far exceeds any of the other games in the genre. 100%. 100%. I think Borderlands 3 is a solid second place, as far as I can think of. But number one, undisputed king, is definitely Destiny 2.
I agree with that so much.
It definitely shows that a lot of these developers used to work on Halo, because the gunplay is just chef's kiss.
Oh my gosh, you know what? That is an important little detail. I forgot.
Yeah.
That was the original crew, right? There's something like that?
Yeah.
Remind me.
Not all of them anymore, especially after Destiny 1. But there's still definitely a lot of combat designers that were from the old Halo team. And it's like the encounter, it just feels really, really good. Beyond Light, lots of fun. I dig it. I don't own Beyond Light on PC right now, though. I was playing it on Game Pass on console, and they said that the Destiny 2 expansions would be coming to Game Pass for PC sometime this year. But we're 3 months in, and I haven't seen a thing yet, so who knows? Would hope sooner rather than later, but we'll figure it out.
As in, it's already on consoles.
I get caught one time.
Yeah, I think the trick is that the way PC versions of Game Pass games work is that they're still distributed through the Microsoft Store for now. Technically, they've changed up a lot of chunks at the back end, and of course the Xbox app acts as its own store, which is honestly really, really good. And I think it's a great experience using it for the most part. But for developers with big games, that presents this issue where they're not fully in sync sometimes. And so you've got to prepare your ecosystem for the addition of what is technically another service. Whereas, like, let's say for services, we're saying Xbox, PlayStation, PC through Steam.
Aye.
PC through Game Pass is its own existent service. Where while it would sync with your Xbox One data, there's matchmaking things to take into account. The fact that people are using mouse and keyboard now. That while it's on the Xbox ecosystem, it's also on a PC. and all the weird little oddities that come with that. So for service games in particular, it's really hard to make that initial transition over. So I can understand why it's taking so long, but it would be nice to play Destiny 2 with people.
For sure.
And not have to spend money on all the expansions. That'd be nice. Also, one nifty thing about Microsoft and Game Pass and PC stuff is I guess I'll try Elder Scrolls Online again now that the Bethesda purchase is clearing, because once they throw that on Game Pass and inevitably roll the Pro subscription into Game Pass Ultimate, I guess I have no reason to not download it again.
Hey, they just came out with a really cool expansion pack.
Yes.
Did they not now?
Yes.
Is it not like
It's Oblivion.
much of Oblivion, if not all of it?
I don't think it's all of it. I think it's a chunk of it right now, because the way they've been doing expansions is really weird. They're like, we'll release content throughout the year, which tells me, okay, a yearly release cadence doesn't work for you anymore.
Right.
Dominic, this is the point where I shill Final Fantasy XIV on you again. I'm sorry. The free trial now includes the base game and Heavensward. It's like getting 2 games for free. I'm begging you. It's like the one MMO that does expansions just right.
Oh.
For now. They actually got a new series of ads to because of all the memes that have been flying around about the free trials. They ended up coming out with like 3 brand new ads that are just like, it's a better free trial than all sorts of crap. They're really good, actually. I need to find those again. Where are they in my subscription list? I'm not wearing any glasses right now. Should probably stop trying to scroll through here, because I'm not able to read any of those names, so I'm going to type them into a search bar. And I'll just send you one of these for later. I think they're very, very dumb, fun trailers. Intentionally cheesy. I'll just send a link to this over Discord.
Thank you.
But I don't know. I think they're like I said, the one MMO to still get expansions right. Where WoW keeps trying to reinvent the wheel, and ESO is now doing this thing where, like I said, they can't seem to handle a yearly release cadence. So instead of making that, year and a half or 2 years, they just develop the expansion over the course of the year, and then repeat the process. Which is, I would consider it calling it a sign of weakness is a very negative term. It's a sign of mismanagement to me.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Where it's like, if you can't handle this, then just like, I've always remembered this analogy because I read it in a book about electrical engineering. This book was from the 70s, and I read this as a kid because I might have mentioned a story about how my older sister was a librarian at the time. The library had a bunch of books that they were going to sell or just get rid of. They didn't want to keep these books around for whatever reason. And so my sister bought up a lot of these books, and the books that they didn't sell, she took for herself, and she brought them to me when I was like a very small child. She just brought in this massive shipment of books for me that I read for like the following decade. And one of them was this book on electrical engineering that I think was meant for a pre-made kit for children to kind of get started with wiring or something.
Okay.
Kind of the 1970s equivalent of a STEM kit you'd see today. And so, of course, I didn't have the kit myself, but I still just read through it because it was interesting to me. And when discussing electricity, they said, okay, for whatever technique it was, it's been so long I don't remember, but they were like, you've got two options when wiring things this way. You can either send a little bit of power through like drips of water, or you can let that build up and send it through in a full stream. And I look at that kind of release cadence and I'm like, you can drip or you can stream. It's one of the two. And typically 9 out of 10 times it's better to just go with the stream. Feels more complete, cohesive, better as a whole. But I don't know, it's what it is. I don't run Bethesda. They don't pay me the big bucks. They should pay me the big bucks, but they don't.
I think it is really interesting to talk about release cadence. I probably could actually, I could say a little bit from video games. I
yo.
could only imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, who did I hear? Just
Jordan?
Yeah. Hey, I need to be heading now. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, Jordan, you have a good evening.
Yeah.
Good to chat with you, bud.
Yeah. Good talking to you
Peace
guys.
was great.
Peace.
And then there were two.
And then there were two at work. They are recently pushing for faster releases, and we're doing e-commerce. We're doing websites. It's arguably not nearly as. No, it's definitely objectively not anywhere near as complicated as a video game.
Yeah.
But we have decided we've gone from bigger releases to smaller releases, more frequent releases, and it's kind of interesting because I think there's a lot of merit to be said about finding the right balance, because the drip thing is interesting, because the drip thing we're trying to move fast to release like little pieces of work, but they're kind of like, okay, these little pieces of work aren't actually really well thought out. They're not thinking about the big picture. Okay, I had a piece of work actually recently. It's something I'm working on right now, and it's like, okay, edit this. We're just adding this text, but okay, now we've added this text, but it's not actually. We're creating some confusion with something that was already on the page that was using some different terminology. It's like, well, they didn't consider that because they just wanted to deliver a quick win, a small, quick piece of work, send it out. But it's like, okay, you didn't think it through. So it would have been better to go with the stream and actually release this whole project, look at it holistically and say, what do we need to make this a good, proper, full release, as opposed to just little piece here, little piece there, and it being a bit more thoughtless and haphazard.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Like, I don't know. There's some companies, or rather some managers, that are just like, we need it now. And some of that's related to profit. Some of that I almost feel like some of it is kind of related to, perhaps attention span is the wrong word. I'm trying to be very careful with how I word this here because it's a very specific thing. But I think it's roughly, what would it be? What would it be? I feel like there's a point in history where previously most of these managers could sit through 2001: A Space Odyssey, and now most of them would turn it off after 3 minutes.
Yeah.
There's this desire for not necessarily instant gratification, but regular, constant stream of gratification, which is drip, 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 drip. I get to write a report that says we released this. I get to see that we released this update. I get to see that we did that update. Drip, drip, drip. And it's a dopamine stream for some folks. For others, it's... I don't know. Some managers just care much less about the quality of a project and more about the fact that it's released.
That's true.
We should have had this in our Cyberpunk discussion.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I've seen that. It's very true.
It's a wild world.
yeah, and a lot of times, you know, we try to from the developers, and I know it happens in gaming too. Everyone's trying to say like, you know, hey, we just need to slow down a little bit, just a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and that'll make all the difference for everybody. And that's usually not heard, falls on deaf ears.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So when are we starting our tech podcast?
You know what, man? I'm available. I feel like I'm a new man. Look at this. We're doing cool stuff. I'm here. I'm ready. So I will start. I'll chat.
This is it. This is it.
This is it.
This is the rebirth. It's happening.
Good. I like it. I gotta come up with some. We could just talk about all sorts of stuff. Tech, games,
Yeah.
music.
Honestly,
I like it.
we can call our podcast. Yeah. Okay. I'm not good with names. I think we can call this one the Gamer Zone. Nobody's ever done that before. I'll come up with something for real someday. Someday when I'm more awake. Tonight has been fun. This after party as well has also honestly just been a lot of fun to just kind of cool down and chat after like, again, that was three months of work and nerves built up for a single night that is in the rear view mirror.
And it was beautiful. Oh, I loved seeing all the skits. Everything came together wonderfully. Kudos. And I know the other guys aren't here right now to hear it too, but of course, kudos to them. I mean, this really though, great job, dude. This is awesome.
Thank you, man. Thank you
And
for
I'm
being
really
here.
happy. I'm so happy to be a part of it. Thank you so much for having me. I'm stoked again because this is not the first time I've been part of the LimitBreaker.net crew.
Yeah.
And I'm stoked. I'm so happy to be here for take number 2.
Yeah, and who knows? With this rebirth and newfound energy, maybe we can actually record another Jam Sessions episode. We gotta just find an album or artist to talk about.
Well, we might as well if you want to talk about an album fresh on my mind right now, we gotta do the Megadeth album.
Oh yeah, Rust in Peace.
We can
Yes.
listen to Rust in Peace. We could just talk about your favorite tracks, my favorite tracks, what we like about them, and just dissect what we like. I mean, we can do it.
This is it.
I would totally do that. I've got a lot to say about that album, from the vocals to the guitars to the drums, everything. Dude, just one thing I gotta mention right off the bat is the first song. Did you know the tempo changes subtly in that song throughout?
I don't think
incredible.
so, actually. Let's see. That's the fun thing about you having your background in music, is that there's a lot of things that once you work on a piece of art, you can start to tear it apart. And you don't always have to. This is kind of a situation where it's like not every single rectangle is a square, every single square is a rectangle, that type of deal. Where it's like you can to some degree, like with sampled songs, I've been tearing them apart in my head lately. I don't know how to make samples for songs. I don't know how that works, but it's a very base level response as opposed to listening for every tempo change, every time, being able to tell the key by ear, which I wish I could do. I think I can't remember who it was. I think it was Dean, which would make sense because guitar tuning and all that. That he was. We were talking about Fuser a couple weeks ago. It's a DJ game, and he was just kind of calling out keys by ear, and I was just like, I wish that was me.
That is amazing.
Which I guess it kind of will be at some point after I get my guitar fixed and start taking lessons and stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, did I mention to you that I was getting that fixed? Actually.
No. This is all new to me. So.
Oh crap.
What kind of guitar do you have, dude?
So this is the part where I tell you that I don't fully know.
And do you know if it's acoustic or electric?
It's acoustic. I know that. I know that much for sure. I know that. It's a Cortez, and I have not been able to find the exact model. I've not been able to find the exact year. I believe it is sometime in the 70s. The closest guitars I saw that were not exactly the same were from 74.
Okay.
So I'm thinking early to mid 70s acoustic Cortez.
That's cool. How does it feel? Does it feel like nice to hold?
Oh
Does
yeah,
it need
for
a little
sure.
work or oh
It
great, then
needs
awesome.
some work. There's a couple of cracks on it in some spots, not major, but to prevent long-term major damage, they need to be glued down. The tuning knobs need to be all replaced. Pegs look like they need to be replaced. There's, just like I said, though, just a couple chunks of it that need glued down and looked over, and maybe a couple places that the guy at the guitar shop told me that when the repair guy comes in, he'll tell me everything exactly it needs. He said that by eye, it didn't look like it was seriously bad, but definitely in need of work. So I'm hoping the bill won't be too huge. Worst case scenario, I mean, it's like I got this guitar from my stepfather because so when I went up to get my car fixed from him, he actually no, this was when I went up to because he was fixing a friend's car actually. I'm blurring the two together. But we took a friend's car up so he could work on that because my stepfather is a very nice man. And at his garage that he's got that he works on cars at, he had a guitar in there. And I just started talking to him about it. I was like, I had no idea that you play guitar. And he's like, no, I don't. But the scrapyard that he works at, he's said that there is a surprising amount of guitars that people will leave in their cars that they take to sell for scrap metal. And he's like, I am not about to crush a perfectly good guitar, or at the very least one that could be fixed.
Yeah.
And so
Nice.
apparently back at his house, I haven't been over there since we had this conversation. Apparently back at his house, he's got like, I think he said 6 or 7 of them, both acoustic and electric, that he saved from cars before they were crushed.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and it's like if I learned how to play this one, I would if he's got an electric I can take, I would absolutely love to get an electric and get that fixed up too.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll tell you what, because electric, I'm acoustic's amazing.
Mhm.
There's nothing against acoustic,
Yeah.
but as a kind of a two-pronged thing, well, just the feel of an electric, even unplugged,
mhm.
or even plugged in without distortion, as well, is really nice because of the way they tend to design them, or the way they tend to be set up. Now, of course, and I've played some acoustics actually, which are set up the action primarily, which is the string, the length of the string
Yeah.
from the neck, the fret. So the distance, and the larger that distance, the higher it is off of the neck,
Mhm.
the fretboard, and that tends to be higher and higher on acoustics. Now, not all acoustics, though. Actually, I have an acoustic guitar that is made by Fender that has the neck of their electric guitar line on the body of their acoustic guitar line. How cool is that? Like a hybrid.
Man,
They
that
mix the
that
two
is
of 'em.
you're gonna have to send me a couple pictures of this sometime.
Oh, I will. Oh, I will. Absolutely. I'll take some pictures just after
Cool.
this.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that
I'd love
sounds
to see your
neat.
guitar too.
I'll be able to get some pictures for you back when I have it back. It's still at the guitar shop right now. They said that their repair guy might be in within a week or 2, maybe 3 in a worst case scenario. They were like, you're not in a hurry, right? And I'm like, no, I don't know how to play yet. I want to learn how to play on this guitar. They're like, then that works perfectly fine for us.
This is so cool. That is so cool. Yes, awesome, man. That you're
Oh, man.
learning. This is gonna be so much fun.
Best
Do
part-
You have a. What's the best part?
That friend that I my stepdad fixed his car for him.
Yeah.
His dad is more than willing to teach me how to play guitar. I think his dad is more than willing to teach anybody how to play guitar. He is one of the nicest men that I've ever met in my entire life, and he just loves to play guitar.
Yeah. Oh, that's phenomenal. Ah, that's coming together. That's a plan coming together.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
I love it.
And I think my goals, like I've had these goals in the back of my head for a long time with like if I learned how to play an instrument, what I'd play, And I'm like, okay, for playing an acoustic guitar, I definitely want to play Like we talked about in private, 90s earthy grunge rock.
Right.
And that first Days of the New album, I want to say it's, if not almost like entirely acoustic on most of the songs. Like, yes, there's some drums and all, but the guitar throughout that album is 100% acoustic. And I think there are some tracks that are guitar and vocals only. Could be wrong. I think that's the case though.
Nice. Okay, that's shaping up. That's
And it's like
perfect target.
I would love to play most of those. And for playing electric, my goals are simple. I want to play the guitar riff from Evil Woman. I'm a simple man.
Wait a minute. Which song?
Evil Woman by ELO.
Oh, Evil Woman. Oh yes. Oh yes. Okay, that's classic. That is classic. All right.
I live for Electric Light Orchestra.
Oh yes. Oh my gosh. I remember my earliest memory of ELO was me not knowing who the heck ELO was when somebody said to me their favorite band was. This was when I was in middle school or high school. I had some band shirt on. It was probably an Aerosmith shirt. And then she was like, "Is Aerosmith your favorite band?" And I was like, "Yup." And she was like, "My favorite band is Electric Light Orchestra." And I was like, "What the who the what and the ha?" and that was my first real exposure to ELO. And I remember eventually.
I can't remember.
Eventually heard some on the radio. Probably didn't even know they were.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember what my first time listening to ELO was. I feel like it might have been something that played in an advertisement. It might have been because Mr. Blue Sky gets so much airtime.
Oh, yeah. See, that's yeah.
And I know that both my parents liked ELO, though it's not like they owned any albums on CD or cassette or anything. Well, actually, maybe my dad did own one thing on cassette. It's just that he quit using cassette pretty quick, and I can't blame the guy.
yeah, cassettes. Oh my gosh, I've got so many ruined cassettes from my childhood. They just get like eaten.
Oh man, I don't know if I still have. I think I mentioned the trunk of cassette tapes that my dad had. I don't think I still have that. Because really, like, by all accounts, most of those, if not all of those tapes, should probably be bad. Which is a shame, but it is what it is. The medium breaks down. What you gonna do? And it's not like I'm gonna, listen to things on cassette on my day-to-day basis. Anyways, CDs I can save. My car still has a CD player. I'm driving an '07 right now. So it's like I can hold on to those, especially since I've got one of those models that has a CD changer, which makes me, a classy high-end kind of guy. But and vinyl, of course, is king right now. Vinyl will be king for hopefully the rest of my life, if we're being honest. I love them to death.
I'm finally almost ready to jump into vinyl. So what's going on is Alex and I are both starting to collect our favorite albums of all time so far, the ones front to back that we can't resist, in vinyl, and we will eventually have the setup to play them. And I'm getting pretty stoked about that. And they'll be on display too. It's going to be like,
oh man,
it's going to be great. So it'll be hearing these albums on vinyl that we love front to back. And I love that it's actually really good that you still have a CD player because, I've actually, I think this is really interesting. I'm curious if you've used any of these services yet, but I've tried just recently Tidal for the first time to listen to some hi-fi streaming.
I have not tried hi-fi streaming yet. I have been sticking to my Spotify family plan just for the sake of like affordability and the fact that like my whole family's on it. It's like shockingly I put my family on a family plan, but
oh my gosh, it's the best. I love having a family plan. Well, even just for Alex and I know they have the duo plan as well. I mean, but the hi-fi service is. Now I'm not subscribed to it right now. It was really a test. I needed to know was I going to care enough about it because I had resolved earlier on that I didn't care about hi-fi enough. That the 320 megabits per second stream rate.
Yeah.
This MP3 was good enough, that it sounded good enough to me. And then I finally decided to listen again, try again, just see like, okay, it's been a few years since I've like thought about this, heard it. And I actually was shocked to notice the difference. And I was really excited because I just heard finally that Spotify by the end of the year will be releasing their hi-fi tier.
Yeah, I
And
saw
it's
that.
going to be really cool because at least I'm hoping that they still have the family tiers and stuff as well, because that would be the way I would need it to be.
I hope that they do it like Hulu does their plans, where Hulu's plans are built around add-ons.
Oh, okay. I heard
Yeah,
that. Actually, I think it was. I think it will be. I think it's going to be
If
an add-on
that's
to the premium service.
if that's the case, that where I can just throw on hi-fi as an add-on, and if I can do it cheaper for just myself as opposed to all members of the family plan, because I know I'm the one that will use it, I would be more than happy to do that.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
To have that flexibility.
yeah.
Pitch
but
that to them before they release this.
Spotify, you're listening to me right now. Every service in the world is listening to me right now. It's not just that I have, 5 viewers on Twitch. It's that I have about 16 different government agencies piping my voice to every ad company in the country. So get on that shit.
Yeah, they've heard it.
Yeah,
I've got Google
let
Voice
it be
in my
known.
house.
But not for real. Like that'd be great. For real, that would be seriously great. I definitely do want to try hi-fi sometime, though. I guess my question would be, if I were to, pull out some of my old FLAC files and compare those to hi-fi streaming, what the difference would be with my hardware. Because that's a big thing that gets me. I need to buy new headphones super bad.
That's a good point, because that's really all we're trying to get to, really, with this hi-fi stuff, is just CD quality and lossless quality, and that does it. That's why it's like great you still have the CD player, because honestly, if you have CDs of your favorite music, it will sound better than Spotify can.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
And on top of that,
interesting trade-off.
there's also the fact that I might have mentioned to you, or maybe this isn't like the 17th time when I'm like, oh, I might have mentioned this to you, and you're like, no, you didn't. But I'm looking into switching to iPhone eventually.
Yes.
Because iOS 14 was enough to sell me on that operating system, where it's like my big caveats were like, you can't change the email client, you can't change your browser. Why even use such a lockdown service? And then Apple comes along and is like, okay, here's the app drawer that you want. Here's the fact that you can change your browser to something other than Safari by default. And I'm like, okay, cool, we're getting somewhere. And every other change they've made with privacy was the point where I really got put over the edge, where it's like, okay, Facebook is so desperately fighting against every privacy thing that you're pushing here that it's like, I'm sold.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Right.
I know what that means. Yeah.
Right? But so I'm definitely going to be losing the beautiful little headphone jack on my Galaxy S9 Plus. And I know I can get dongles and stuff for it, but I think I'm to the point where I'll either buy a little wireless adapter for my car and just use that instead, or the alternative is that I just buy more CDs, which is fine by me, because I'm a physical media gremlin. I don't have a problem. If I can own an album, I'll be more than happy to. If I didn't have it in my car right now, I would pull out my copy of Morning View by Incubus and show you how the CD for that looks. The packaging is great, but the CD itself is just absolutely beautiful. They've got this incredible art design going on, which I think Incubus does for like next to all, or did rather, for all their albums they put out on CD in the early 2000s. They just were very, very, very pretty.
Oh, that's nice. That's the part that is missed from the digital experience. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's just... I love music. I love quality music. I'm down for more of it. I'm down to talk more about it, though. I think I might be getting to the point where I have to... you can probably hear it. I'm tired.
Hey, absolutely. It is time for well-deserved rest.
So yeah, we've done this after party for well over an hour and a half. But so, Dominic, wonderful to talk with you. We will hopefully be doing way more of this very soon. Definitely now that the awards and everything are in the rearview mirror, it's like all of my small micro projects for Limit Breaker can be brought back out now, and I can't be like, oh, I'm putting off the awards or anything, or I'm doing something that's because this almost became like a second job to me, just to kind of be like, oh, I'm gonna go slave away in the internet factory now.
Yeah.
And
seriously. Oh,
passion projects are back on the menu.
F yeah, man. So seriously, yeah, it was a pleasure talking to you. I had a kick-ass time, and I am looking forward to talking again. I have some more.
Yeah, sweet.
I've got 2 albums I want to talk about, but let's get that.
Yeah.
Rust in Peace talk in the books. I would love to do
We'll
it.
talk Rust in Peace. We'll talk anything else you want to chat about. We can get as many podcasts fired up simultaneously as we want. We can run. We can run 5 podcasts at once if we're maniacs. We can
Dude,
do it.
We are maniacs. so
That's
we
completely
will.
true.
We will.
We can do it. I will talk anything but current events because those just make me want to drink.
Oh, yes, seriously. Oh, my gosh. Okay, we'll stick to Rust in Peace.
Works for me. You all have a
Alright.
good night. Dom, have a good night. Scorp, Brianna, if you're still in the chat, you both have a wonderful evening. I will talk to you all later.
Yes, have a great night. Thank you. I echo that. Have a beautiful night's rest, everybody.
And just
Sweet
like
dreams
that.
and kisses.
Yeah. Just like that. Good night.